Now, let's conclude on into our 4-wire smart coils for Toyota, Lexus, we'll see them on Mercedes, and a variation of 4-wire coils on General Motors. Now, again, there is a remote driver inside of here. So the signal we get to here is not high current as far as the pulsing trigger signal. It is a very low current signal to turn this off and on. We have its power and ground to power this thing up like any module, and that power is also there for the ignition coil secondary circuit as well. So, or I should say primary circuit as well. So all this is working off of 3. Now we have a 4th wire added. Unless it's General Motors, that 4th wire typically will be a feedback circuit, and it'll be in parallel with all the coils on the car. So the same circuit is hooked from coil to coil to coil in parallel. So when the coil actually fires, we get a signature on that wire. We get a square wave on that wire that tells that PCM, yep, this guy worked. It made some spark. So that's going to be what the PCM uses in addition to no current flow. It's open. Or, of course, the deceleration of the crankshaft for a misfire for any reason. Now, looking at this slide, looking at how all that works inside the coil driver, I should say the smart 4-wire coil module, we have power and ground like we would for any module, and then we add a signal wire like we would have with this 3-wire, GM or Honda, whatever. And the 4th wire we add, and that is going to be that feedback circuit. That's the diagnostic circuit, and that's going to go to a little chip, and when that coil does its job and it senses it actually made some spark, that's going to be the signature coming out from the right to left from that purple wire to the PCM. So it's a PCM input, and it's all hooked in parallel from coil to coil, as I mentioned. So nothing much we can do on the bench, but we can do a whale of things on the car, as we'll see coming up next when we look at some Toyota and Lexus on the car with our equipment. Now on General Motors products, that 4th wire is usually a reference low, a backup ground, a computer ground. So it's not a signal wire, a ignition feedback wire, it's just another ground. So if that's bad, it can actually on some models make its own ground through a power ground or a chassis ground, depending on the particular application in the particular coil and plug module.